Lights, camera, rolling, action.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
He's looking at you, kid.
Say hello to my little friend!
Hi, this is Joe, and this is the Filmjoe podcast, where film talk happens.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Filmjoe podcast, where on this episode we delve into the archives of lost films. I'm Joe, your host, and I'm here with Daisy.
Hello there.
And this week we go into the films that have basically been forgotten in time, that have just faded away. And there's some gems out there that people just don't remember or just don't know about. But before we continue, just a little reminder, we're not professional film critics here. We're far from. We're just a couple of movie fans. We just love to talk films. So don't hold us to the fire on any of these opinions that we have. All right. And also be advised, we do have or may have spoilers for some of these films. So if you have not seen these movies, you've been warned.
That's right.
Right. All right.
That's right.
All right. So what you been up to?
Nothing much. Actually, I've been doing a lot of unpacking simply because I hate unpacking and it's been taking me months already. But I came across a really cool book.
Oh, what book? What is that?
Okay, so I've been reading this book called. Huh?
What is that? It's a book. It has
It's
words.
a book.
Right.
Oh no! I mean, before television, there were books.
Right.
And I love reading. It's a great way, to escape the real world and all this drama. But yeah, I've been reading this one book called "No One Gets Out Alive" by Adam Neville.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently it's supposed to be a Netflix film. I haven't seen it. I haven't even heard of it. I just thought, it sounded cool. But yeah, it's basically kind of like a haunted house kind of deal. This chick, she's in rough times, and she has to go stay in this boarding house, this crappy ass boarding house that happens to be hella haunted.
Oh, that sounds cool. I've always loved a good ghost story. I love stuff like that.
Oh well, right off the bat, like the first chapter, it scared the shit out of me.
See, that's what I like. The shit scared out of me.
Yes, I mean the fact that it's I don't have a TV screen in front of me, to tell me when I'm supposed to be scared. No, it's all imagination.
And that's usually the best form of being scared. When the mind is the best form. It's the best way to scare you.
No, definitely, and if you're able to paint a perfect picture with words, I mean, fuck, that's magic right there.
Yeah. Well, I used to read a lot. I mean, I used to read a lot of Stephen King and Dean Koontz, and just a bunch of stuff. I mean, I just loved reading so much. I just kind of fell out of it.
Oh no, I love reading. As a matter of fact, I read my first Stephen King book not too long ago. I read The
Oh,
Shining.
how was that?
Dude, you know what? I loved it. I freaking loved it. It's like the movie, but not.
Yeah, because I heard it does that. It kind of it veers away from the book in a lot of ways. But
Oh
I mean,
yeah, definitely.
well, if I might, no, I won't, because I can't commit.
So you've read Stephen King, but you've never read The Shining.
I never read The Shining. I've read Christine. I've read Cujo, a collective work of his short stories.
Oh,
But
Night Shift.
Night Shift, yeah, and that was fantastic. But yeah, I never did get through. You know what? It scared. Maybe I got scared because it was like a million pages.
Oh yeah, you know what? To be honest, when I was younger, I saw the size of the book. I'm like, nope, I'm good. But when I got older, I'm like, all right, let's give this a chance. And I picked that one up and it. I still
Yeah.
haven't gotten to reading it. I will as soon as I find my books
Mhm.
because they're still packed away. But yeah, The Shining was really freaking awesome. I wish that I could see, a theatrical rendition of that version.
Well, I forgot what cable channel, maybe Sci-Fi or one of those. They did one that was closely based on the actual book.
Actually, that was on ABC though, I think.
No. I believe it was
Really?
Yeah, it was like sci-fi or something, and they said it was actually really, really, really good.
You know, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Hmm.
Was I want to say the part by Shelley Duvall was played by Rebecca De Mornay, I want to say.
Probably. I mean, I don't have the info on from off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, I heard it was pretty good actually. And but I'm a true fanatic and fan of the original Shining. I'm like, yeah, but I can't. I'm just stubborn that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know what though? I'm sure that had you read the book first, maybe your opinion would differ.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Now check this out. Okay, talk about movies. I went to go see a movie last night.
Okay,
It's called In a Violent Nature. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Yeah, it's sort of a slasher film,
Okay.
slasher in the woods with a history, and and he's back for vengeance and killing dumbasses in the forest and stuff. And it looked really interesting. However, well, it's not what I expected. It's the director. He takes a different take on this, something original, and so pretty much instead of the camera following the actions of the victims and and their stories as they unfold,
Mhm.
you follow the killer around,
Okay.
and it's very unique.
Mhm.
It's filmed in Academy ratio, which is like the square screen. It's not widescreen, which I thought was interesting.
Hmm.
But it was a really, really slow, really slow, and kind of frustrating. The flash review is already out, and so, but to elaborate on that is that yeah, I don't know. He tried to do something. He was experimental, and for me, it was kind of a failed experiment. I appreciate what he was trying to do, but
Right.
trying to create a feeling of isolation, uncomfortable silence, the feeling of being closed in yet in the open and being trapped. But to me, it just kind of fell flat. I mean, the film overall, it just was void of action or the suspense or the thrill.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, being in the head of the killer for, like maybe like 10 minutes, okay. But for the whole run of a movie, yeah, I can see how that would be kind of meh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I appreciate what he was trying to do, and it's bold.
Right.
But for me personally, it didn't. It just missed the mark overall. There was one kill in this that's just awesome.
Mhm.
It'll blow you the fuck away. I mean, it is ridiculous. I'm not going to give it away for those who
Okay,
want to
all
see it,
right.
but I've not seen a kill like that ever, and it's gruesome. And it looked like it was all practical and no CGI.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't dissuade people from watching it. It's a different kind of horror film, but for me, it just kind of fell flat. But I did get to see a trailer for a movie called Maxine. Have you heard of it?
Maxine.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, there was this film that came, and I feel so dumb because I'm barely jumping on the bandwagon on this. But there was a film that came out a couple of years ago called X. Yeah, and it's about they're filming a porn film, and it's on a
Yeah,
farm.
okay.
And then they did a prequel called Pearl,
Right.
and people went apeshit over it. It's directed by Ty West. Uh,
Okay.
he he did Hereditary, and I didn't jump on it then. So I saw the trailer for Maxine, and this is the third in the series, and it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I know my husband, big old horror freak. He watched those two movies, the
Oh,
the
but
the two earlier ones.
oh, you got to dig up the trailer for him for Maxine. It looks really good because Maxine. Well, the chronology is X takes place in the late 70s,
Mhm.
Pearl in the late 40s, I think.
Oh,
And
wow.
then yeah, and then Maxine takes place in like 83 or 85.
Hmm.
And yeah, and it looks really good. So I'm gonna jump on, I'm gonna rent the other two and then go see this one when it comes out. It looks really, really good.
Okay, yeah, I need to check the trailer. I haven't seen the other two movies. A lot of times, when Tony watches these horror movies, it's more of an experiment, and I'm like, you know what? You let me know if I can watch it. He's very extreme with his horror movies, and there's so much. I love horror movies, but there's only so much that I could stomach. He was surprised that I was able to stomach that my favorite movie. Oh my god, the one with the freaking Art the Clown.
Oh,
Terrifier.
Terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was surprised that I was able to stomach that movie, and I think maybe that's my limit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, he tried to get me to watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Don't do it.
No, I'm not doing it. No.
Oh, yeah, that's how he courted me.
Wow, how romantic.
He's like, "Hey, baby, I'll buy you a chicken sandwich and we can watch that what is it? Holocaust?
Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust." And I'm like, "All right." Oh man, that was awful.
And, and you married him anyway.
Hey, you know what? That it was true love. I was able to look past that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know he's also a big fan of the with Saw films, and I'm kind of
Oh yeah.
past, yeah, past the first two. I'm like, that's it for me.
You know what? It's not that bad though. To be honest, I've actually been able to sit through those movies, and they're actually really good. The way that they all connect. Yeah, yeah, I could get through those too.
Oh, by the way,
Mhm.
also I got to see a trailer. It's the Fathom events that they have at the movie theaters.
Yes, uh huh.
They're going to have next month, and I'm there. I'm so there. They have my money. They just don't know it. It's there. They're gonna show on the big screen in laser projection.
I think I know
Clo-
what you're gonna say.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were gonna say, but that sounds bitchin'. Holy crap! I just recently saw that movie.
Did see it as a kid, but I wasn't, in the theater, but I didn't fully appreciate it for what it was. So,
Oh, it's
I-
it's it's an awesome freaking movie. I love it.
yeah, yeah. So that's definitely on my list. It's like July 7th and the 10th. They're going to be showing it.
Okay. No, because what I thought you were gonna say is they're gonna be re-releasing The Crow on the big screen.
I saw that too. I was so tempted.
Oh my god, that is just such a 90s nostalgia. Oh my god, good times. Oh yeah, I love
Wow.
that freaking movie.
Now, also a little bit of news. As you know, well, I'll let everybody know. I'm going to San Diego Comic Con this year,
Nerd.
and yeah, I'm proud of it. Yes,
That's right. That's right.
right. And it's my first time going. I mean, I've been to several other ones out here, but San Diego Comic Con is the first time I'm going. And
Are you
they
gonna
have,
are you gonna dress up?
yeah, like Joe.
Oh come on.
I might have my Filmjoe podcast T-shirt. That's as far as I'm going to go.
All right, all right, all right. I'll let you pass with that.
Right. And at these conventions they have exclusives like like Funko Pops or figures.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and they're exclusive and they're worth bucks. Well,
Mm.
they are going to have the NECA figures.
I believe I do.
Yeah, they're fully detailed figures, like 8 inches tall, and they're very detailed from like movies and stuff like that.
I think
You
Tony
know,
has a couple of them.
yeah. Well, they are going to have an exclusive Flash Gordon figure.
No way. Oh, dude, that sounds bitchin'.
It's probably going to be like $60, but they have my money already. So,
Seriously, you pick me up one too.
yeah, sure. I take Venmo, and what else is there? PayPal,
Zelle.
Zelle. But I saw the figure. If you get a chance, look it up online. SDCC exclusive Flash Gordon. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh my god, man! Do you remember every time I would hear this the song for Flash Gordon by
Oh,
Queen?
oh, you
I
when you were a kid, you lose your shit.
Oh, dude, I used to love that freaking movie.
It's cheesy, it's corny, it's bad, but it's a lot of fun. I love that film.
Another movie that's worthy of a remake, I think.
I think so. You know what? I think the cheese factor in the original was what made it great.
But I mean, it could so much potential to be badass
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the same music.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't change the music. It has to be
Absolutely not. It has to be Queen.
absolutely. So, if you're out there, guys, listeners, at San Diego Comic Con, and you see somebody walking around in a Film Joe podcast T-shirt, that will be me. Feel free to stop me and say hello. Be nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so long as you're not a stalker or anything weird like that.
Hey, stalkers are welcome.
Yeah, not for me. Thank you. All right. So before we move on, I just want to give a mention out to this really amazing podcast I just came across talking about horror films and so forth. It's a podcast called Sinful Cuts, and it's spelled CINE -FUL Cuts. And it's a horror movie podcast hosted by Sean and Shannon, and it is hilarious. It is amazing. These folks know what they're talking about. I like horror. I'm not a horror fanatic, but just listening to them, their energy, their fun. I mean, it's a great podcast. So if you get a chance, you have to check them out.
They sound pretty awesome. I'm going to tell my husband to check them out.
Yeah, your husband, he's a horror fanatic, and he'll definitely like
Oh
this
my God,
podcast.
yes.
Yeah, and Sean, he's hilarious, and Shannon, she's really knowledgeable. She's really funny, and they're really fun, and they love film. And I think that's what struck me so much about their podcast is that it's like, oh, these films are cool. No, we love these films, and
Yeah.
it's infectious. You're listening, and you just feel it. So definitely, please check them out. Check them out on Instagram. They got some really cool shit there. You won't regret it. You can catch them on Spotify, Apple Music, Podbay, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts fixed. So, Sean and Shannon, keep up the good work. You guys rock.
It sounds fun. It seems that it sounds, it's cool to be sinful.
Right. Well, they call their listeners sinners.
That is badass.
Alrighty. So, what do you say we jump into this episode?
Yeah, let's jump right in. Let's do it.
Alrighty. So, for our first film, it's Finger Licking Kid.
For a bus ticket home. You help me out? What are you on? Unbelievable. I told you.
Just don't think of it as killing. Evening. Don't think at all. It's just something that you do night after night. It's only ever a question of time.
You're nervous. I would be too if I were you. Nea Dark.
I think your boys falling in with control. Check out time.
A small town farmer's son reluctantly joins a traveling group of vampires and is bitten by a beautiful vampire. The film we are talking about is Nea Dark from 1987, and it is directed by Catherine Bigelow. The film stars Adrian Pasdar, Lance Hendrickson, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein. We're going to be rating this on a scale of 1 to 10 Spurs.
Love it. Love it.
All right. Now, for those of you wondering, what the fuck, Spurs? You'll find out. It's pretty freaking cool. Yeah,
Yes.
It's pretty awesome. Now, this is the first time you've seen this, right?
Yeah, and for me, it's surprising that I've missed this little gem. See, I love vampires, and I'm very, very critical about the vampire movies that I watch. They have to meet a certain criteria.
Right.
I'm very picky. This was actually pretty good. I mean, it was kind of like Lost Boys meets Young Guns.
Right. Yeah, because basically they're outlaw vampires. Yeah. I mean, this is, and also Catherine Bigelow, who directed this, she's amazing. I love her work.
Yeah, I did not know that she was married to James Cameron.
Yeah. I mean, she's known for having directed great films like The Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30, Strange Days, Blue Steel. I mean, just an amazing talent. And this was her second film.
Really? Not bad.
Yeah. And, as the story goes, when she was in production for this, she was dating James Cameron at the time. And he had just wrapped on Aliens. So I guess, I'm not sure, but she may have had some issues or been trying to get a cast together. And he's like, well, I just finished Aliens. You want to use some folks from there? And that's how we get Lance Hendrickson, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein.
We almost had Michael Biehn in it.
Yeah, but he turned it down.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him in this movie, to be honest.
Yeah. But, I mean, he had probably been committed to another project or something. But, yeah, he would have been awesome in this.
Mm-hmm, yeah, no, definitely.
Now, I want to mention the score on this, which is one of your favorite music groups, Tangerine Dream.
Oh, trip out.
And I generally don't like synth scores like Tangerine Dreams, which were very prevalent in the 80s. But somehow it worked here. I mean, you got small town America, farmland, but you got this modern new age kind of music that's kind of juxtaposed with that imagery. But I thought it worked. It really, really worked for some strange reason.
I agree. I think it worked in perfectly. I mean, it was very seamless, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely had a really cool tone to it. I really enjoyed it. The last time I saw it before this time, I think it was back in '87. That was the last time I saw it. I saw it at a private screening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was blown away. It
How
was
did I miss this? I don't understand.
yeah, yeah. And I thought it would be a hit. I mean, that is the same year that you had The Lost Boys.
I mean, I mean, The Lost Boys for me is still like super way up there. I mean, you got the gothiness without trying to be gothy. Obviously, they were more, metal, more punk, and I mean, but you still, feel the gothiness of the vampire. So I
But
mean,
what
for me, that's still my favorite.
you're right. No, absolutely. But I think this one could have done a lot more. But unfortunately, at the time that this film was released, it was released through DEG, which was the De Laurentiis Entertainment Group.
Mhm.
And at the time that this movie was done and getting ready to be released, they were also going bankrupt.
Oh no.
So they really couldn't afford to promote the film in the proper way to get it out there in front of people's eyeballs. And yeah, it failed at the box office. And we'll get into those numbers later. But it's unfortunate. I think it's definitely an underrated, underappreciated vampire film.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, you're right. With the right kind of advertising, it would have been pretty big.
Yeah, and it was a great cast. I mean, you got Lance Hendrickson. He was, he plays kind of the patriarch of the outlaw vampires. There's like four of them,
Yeah,
and
oh, fucking Bill Paxton, dude.
oh, Bill Paxton owned every scene he was in.
He is just he was just a fucking badass. I love. He played an awesome vampire. Very proud
Yeah,
of him.
amazing. And well, there's a part where in the film, because they're outlaws and they're at a hotel and the cops track them down and there's a big old shootout that transpires, and I love Paxton's line and the way he delivers it. I could never deliver it like that, but he's like, it's checkout time. And oh,
He always has those fucking unforgettable one liners.
I mean, and he delivers them with utter perfection. or
Oh my god.
or when he bites somebody, sucking out their blood in front of somebody, and he drops the person, and he licks his fingers, and he's like, finger licking good.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, that's prime Paxton. And you know what? It's just another reminder of how much what a loss. When Paxton passed away.
Definitely gone too soon.
And and of course the coolest Paxton sequence was when he hops on the bar, and the bartender's behind the bar, and Paxton has on his boots, he has cowboy spurs.
Oh, dude, yes, yes. He fucking kicks. He does this really cool kick and slices his fucking throat.
You talk about creative and inventive. That was badass. I mean, to me, I'm like, I'm watching, and again, I've seen this movie, like I said, once and maybe twice at the most. And I forgot about that. I'm like, wow, that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it was beyond cool. Loved it.
But I mean, again, it's just unfortunate. I mean, I think it's a perfect bookend film to The Lost Boys. I mean, a nice double feature for the two.
Yeah.
Uh, just really, really fun. A lot of stuff and beautifully shot. Really, really well done.
There was an aspect about it that I don't know. How what is it? What was the name of the pretty cute little blonde May?
May, yeah.
How she's telling him to listen to the night, and she kind of brings out the beauty of it. She's one with the night. She appreciates it, and you feel it. You could hear the wind rustling in the night, and she's looking up into the stars, and I thought that was awesome. I really liked that part.
And that's one thing that stuck out with me when when I was watching it again, was that it's a low budget film. These are not A-list actors, but first and foremost, their delivery, their performances. I mean, some of the stuff was kind of corny. Some of the dialogue. Oh, do you hear it? Hear it? It's the night. That whole scene. It could come across really corny, but with her performance and his, it was a very beautiful, delicate scene. And there was quite a few scenes like that were very touching.
They were, and for me, that's what personifies one of the aspects of being a vampire is your love for the night.
Right, right. And you feel that. And, or the scene where, what's his name? Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah, when Caleb he's turned and he's a vampire, and his father finds him and brings him home, and he's trying to save his son, and he grabs his son and he holds him tight and he starts crying. You feel that really touching sequence. It was beautiful. And he does a transfusion and brings him back, of course.
And what I also like is Caleb's fight to keep his humanity.
I mean, because he knew he was a vampire. He knew he had to, but he just couldn't bring himself to it, and he just goes against his fate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was a damn good script. It really was. And this is something that if I were to watch this movie today, if this were to come out now, I would definitely look at something like this and go, "Wow, Catherine Bigelow, she's going places. She's going to be a very successful director."
No, oh, most definitely, yes. I totally agree.
And also, the whole time, the shootout at the hotel or the motel,
That was cool.
it was cool because you go, well, it's a shootout with vampires. You can't kill these guys with bullets, but it's not the bullets.
It's the fucking holes in the walls that the bullets are creating,
And the sunshine it's like beaming through. I mean, what?
Yes.
Very, very, very great sequence. Just a fun movie, very inventive and just a lot of fun.
The only thing that I have issue with, okay,
Mhm.
the end, okay, where Caleb finally, he has his little sister. She was thrown out. Actually, she was thrown out of the back of the car by his love interest, May,
Mhm.
who is a vampire. Okay,
Right.
she has a blanket on and whatever. So he's huddling over both of them, to protect them. As what is it? That kid vampire? He's catching on fire because that's what vampires do in the daylight, and
Right.
he blows up. Oh shit, that's fucked up. Then you see, well, it's not fucked up, but
Right.
and then you see the other two vampires in the car, and they're starting to get all flamey, and they're coming towards them, and you see, them huddled in the middle of the street, and they blow up too. May was just as exposed to the sunlight as those other three.
Yeah, but she was too pretty.
Dude, that made no sense. They're in the middle of nowhere. They have no fucking cars. How the hell did he get her to the freaking farm to do a blood transfusion in the middle of the day without her blowing up?
Because she was cute.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's true. Now that you mentioned it, I mean, it kind of reminds me of I think it was Mission Impossible Part 2, where there is some sort of biochemical weapon that's unleashed and it makes people blister and melt and shit, right? And Zoe Saldana, she's in the film and she gets exposed to it. And it's just like a couple of pimples that pop up in her face. And she's like, oh, that's everyone else is melting and she's fucking having like acne issues. It was hilarious.
She's going through puberty.
Oh my God. Yeah. So,
Yeah, so
but
I did not buy that. I'm like, nah. Homegirl should have blown up too. Yeah, that was my only peeve. Other than that, I thought the movie was awesome.
yeah, no, it definitely was. Now, of course, like we mentioned, the film didn't do well, unfortunately, and that's because they really weren't able to market it and promote it as well as they could have.
Mhm.
So the budget at the time was about $5 million, which is
Okay.
about 14 million. And box office was about 3.4 million, which is about $9.3 million today. So it was a dismal box office failure.
That's sad. That's so sad. You have you have an awesome cast. You have like half of the cast of Aliens in this.
There was no reason why they should have failed. I mean, should have made $1 billion? No, but it should
No,
have been. It could have been the other vampire film that year that
it's a
everybody talked
popcorn
about.
movie. It's a
Yeah,
popcorn movie.
yeah.
I think it would have had a really huge following had they done it right.
Yeah, I think so, and it's unfortunate, but it's still available for everybody to watch on streamers and rental. So if you guys haven't seen it, check this out. It's really, really an awesome vampire film. If that's your thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go to reviews and stuff on this. Richard Corliss of Time Magazine, he called it weird and beautiful all at the same time. and a beautiful teenage vampire love story.
Mhm.
So it was, critically, it was received pretty well. IMDb, it's sitting at a 6.9. Metacritic, 78. Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is 83%.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and audience score, 74. And Letterboxd, 3.5 stars out of 5. So this was this was no slouch. This was a pretty decent vampire film for the 80s.
Shit. Such a shame. Yeah,
So sequels and remakes, there were none. Unfortunately, I mean the film didn't do well. So let's give our ratings on this. You go first.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like I said, huge vampire fan. Often I like my movies to have like a cool, kind of gothic theme. One of my favorites being Underworld, and The Lost Boys, even Fright Night, the original. Yeah. So this for me was very unique, very much like like Lost Boys. It had the love story, it had the conflict of of newly changed vampire, being conflicted with his still human side, and him not giving in. I thought that was awesome. The freaking shootout was bitching. So, that being said, very well acted. So yeah, so that being said, I am going to give it 8 spurs.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Well, it was a dark, subtle vampire film. It wasn't over the top. They didn't even mention the word vampire
They
throughout
did
the
not.
entire. Nor do you see fangs throughout the film.
No.
So that was a really interesting, kind of risky approach. It's like you see, it's a vampire movie. You expect to see fangs, and there's very little of the vampire lore integrated into the plot, into the story, except
Mhm.
for the sunlight that kills them. So yeah, it was very atmospheric, beautifully shot, and without a doubt, one of the best vampire films of the '80s. So my rating on the Film Joe scale is 8 out of 10 Spurs. Also,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
totally agree.
yeah, and definitely a lost gem that just kind of faded away. Definitely needs more airplay and more streaming
More
platforms.
exposure, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so let's move on to our next film.
Let's move it on up.
All right, when you believe you can fly, anything is possible.
Between the night and the dawn,
What's going on? Shh. Have you ever seen him do anything weird? That's all I've ever seen him do.
between the wind and the clouds,
Eric, how'd you get here? All he does is sit in his windowsill and pretend to fly.
between a silent young boy
He was following you, mimicking you, wanting to be like you.
and a loving young girl,
Eric, get away from the edge!
Would you be afraid of a balloon falling?
lies an amazing secret.
Eric! Did you see him fly? Somebody called me. You can fly.
An autistic boy who dreams of flying touches everyone he meets, including a new family who has moved in after their father dies. The film we are talking about is The Boy Who Could Fly from 1986, directed by Nick Castle. The film stars Lucy Deakins, Jay Underwood, and Bonnie Bedelia. So before we continue, this one's gonna be rated on the Filmjoe scale, 1 to 10 paper airplanes.
Oh, me likes.
All right,
Yes,
not
yes,
bad.
me likes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, wow, that's a beauty. Now, first of all, before we continue, this movie is directed by Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in the original Halloween film.
Yep.
And wow, I mean, first of all, what can you say? The movie has heart. It's a beautiful tale dealing with issues and subject matter that it's touchy,
I saw this movie when I was a kid. Like I said, my mom is the reason. My mom and my brother are the big reasons why I love movies today. Um,
Me?
how many brothers do I have?
Well, you say my brother, like, yeah, my brother over there, and
Dumbass. I'm speaking to our people.
it's like, who's your brother? I gotta meet this guy.
God damn you, slow man. Mom dropped you on your head too many times.
It was only once.
That's
All
not
right.
what she said. Okay, well, anyways.
So go ahead.
So yeah, my mom, she, we'd be the last ones to go to sleep at night, and she would always come up with some. She would always find these gems to watch, and yeah, I remember I watched this when I was very little, very young, and that was the only time that I watched this movie. And I do remember that I absolutely loved it. A boy that could fly, falls in love with the girl next door. That's basically all I remembered when I rewatched it today.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, it was just so much more than just the boy who could fly. This movie was absolutely stunningly and heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah, and it had a very Spielberg feel to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking, this kind of reminds me of E.T. meets Starman. Those two movies were playing
Mhm.
in my head when I'm watching this movie. Those kind of feels.
Yeah, a sense of wonder, a sense of magic, and it was very common back then. Everybody was trying to tap into the Spielberg formula.
Well,
Uh,
he did, he did well. They did well on this movie.
oh yeah, Nick Castle really brought out the heart in the feeling of this. I mean, you got these along with these magical and fantastical themes. I mean, you're dealing with issues of suicide, loss of family, mental illness,
Oh my
and
god. That was so heartbreaking. Like I said, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, so I believe the girl when she said that, her dad passed away of cancer. But when it was later revealed that it was suicide, that broke
oh,
my heart.
yeah, and that I did not remember. I mean, just
Absolutely.
now, quick recap for those you have not seen this. It's basically, yeah, a family. They move into this neighborhood, and there's a kid next door who just sits out on his windowsill on the second floor and makes like flying motions, like he can fly. And the teenage girl across from him, she's kind of fascinated by him. They become friends. He doesn't talk, and everybody's like, yeah, the kid think he could fly, and fuck, the kid can fly.
He could fly. He could definitely fly.
And it's just a tender, sweet story, coming of age film. It's just a beautiful film, and it's a film that I saw, of course, back in '86,
Mhm.
and I've seen it a few times after. I think the last time I saw this film before this time was maybe about 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't remember much about it. All I knew was I don't remember the film, but I loved it, and it was beautiful, and
Mhm.
it just one of those films that stick with you. You don't remember, but you loved it, and this is one of them.
Oh my god. And what did you think about the scene where she's in the hospital and he goes to her and he takes her on a little flight?
Oh, now, okay, that scene, I'm watching it, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know, it's this is corny, and there's tons of Superman in this. Can you read my mind sequence from Superman?
Yes, yes.
But you know what? I didn't give a shit because it was beautiful. I'm like, fuck it, I love it. I'm buying it.
What I love most about this movie is number one, it was not cheesy at all. It did not make me want to irk at all.
Mhm.
It was very well acted. And it was a teenage, coming of age movie, and it was not in the least bit raunchy or dirty. It was pure. It was innocent. It was just the
Oh,
most beautiful love story ever.
and Jay Underwood, who plays the boy who could fly, he was amazing. He doesn't say anything. I mean, he has like three lines at the end,
Hmm.
uh, but he was great. Lucy Deakins was great. Bonnie Bedelia as the mom. Fred Savage as the bratty little brother.
Yeah, that this was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is his first film,
Hmm.
and of course, you got the Spielbergian music, the score by Bruce Broughton. Just
Yes.
a beautiful score that soars at the right moments. Again, I know there's cynical people out there, or people go, well, it's so corny. It's purposely trying to grab at the heartstrings. But you know what?
No.
I thought it was just right. It was really nice.
To be honest, I didn't find it corny at all. Yeah, a lot of movies back in the days that they were trying to imitate, Spielberg's work, often came off as corny. You know, but this,
Yeah.
I did not find it corny at all. I mean, it was awesome. It was, oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, I booger cried.
Yeah. I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay,
Yes,
maybe
you
I
did.
did.
Yes, you did. I bet you did.
No, I did. Okay, maybe a little bit. Um, but there was one scene that broke my heart because, as we said, it's the mom and her two kids, was Fred Savage and Lucy Deakins, and their father. At the time, we think he passed away of cancer,
Mhm.
and so they moved to a new town. They're trying to reacclimate, readjust as a new something different. The father's gone and so forth,
Mhm.
and they start to splinter a little bit, and their family starts to fall apart. And the scene is where Fred Savage, his character, gets a bad note from the teacher that he's been fucking up and not doing his homework.
Mhm.
And he's been fucking up for quite a while, but his older sister, she's been covering for him. And they're sitting down at dinner, and the mom finds out. She
Oh,
gets
she's in a bad mood at that.
Yeah, she had a shit day at work. And so she gets pissed off and she yells at her son and she goes, "Go to your room." And she screams at him, and she tells the daughter, how could you do this? I thought you were trying to help me. You go to your room. And she goes to her room, and then she doesn't even, the mom is there by herself. And oh, yeah, by the way,
Eric
uh,
is there, the kid.
Eric, the boy who could fly, Eric, he's there at the dinner table. And he's not really reacting, he's just eating. And so the mom gets off and she goes to her bedroom. So everybody is separated. They've gone their own ways. They kind of splintered off. I mean, their family's coming apart.
Mhm.
And there's a scene later on where they hear some noises down in the living room, like somebody's talking. And they all three of them come down, and Eric is on the projector watching their home movies with the dad when he was still alive.
Mhm. Yes, it's showing the most perfect, moment of their lives, pure
Yeah,
happiness.
and remind them that they are still a family. And you see that, oh, I choked up, and then you get a close up of Eric silently watching this with tears streaming down his face.
That got me right there. That is when I first started crying. That
Yeah,
oh god. Oh, so beautiful.
yeah, it was really, really amazing. And again, this is one of those films that it's an underrated. Unfortunately, it's a forgotten film, and it's just a beautiful little piece of filmmaking.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Now and I'm so glad that I was able to see it again and, through fresh eyes because like I said, I've forgotten most of the movie. I mean, I remember little tidbits about, how, little Fred Savage, he was being bullied by little dorks down the street.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't realize how deep and emotional this movie was.
Yeah, and and they really do. They showcase all three of their struggles and their how they're trying to acclimate in this new environment. All three of them, the mom at work trying to learn how to use a computer,
Mhm.
the older sister trying to deal with school and being accepted, and of course Fred Savage, the little brother, being bullied by the neighborhood bullies.
Mhm.
Uh, and you see all of the tribulations throughout the story and how they come together, and they're all brought together by Eric's, his pureness, his goodness.
Exactly. And watching this, I'm kind of theorizing what exactly is this kid? Why can he fly? And in my head, I'm like, well, he's either an alien
Hmm.
from another planet, or he's an angel.
Right. And you know what, now that you mentioned that, they never go into how he got his powers.
Exactly. All we know from his past is that his both parents died in a plane accident, and that was
Right.
that.
And his fascination that if he was able to fly, he could have saved them. But that's as far as they go. They don't give you some convoluted bullshit backstory of how he was bitten by a radioactive lizard or some shit like that. Ah, they
Yeah,
just
they just went with it, and in my head, I'm thinking it could be possible. You
yeah,
never know.
yeah. Now, interesting little tidbit here. Millie, the older sister, who she falls in love with Eric, of course, and it's really beautiful.
Mhm.
Her name is Millie, but that's short for Amelia,
Oh, okay.
a- as in Amelia Earhart.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That is so cool.
yeah, that's a neat little thing that they threw in there, for flight and stuff. But Nick Castle, again, Mr. Michael Myers, showed an incredible sense, and he wrote this as well. He wrote the
Oh, no
screenplay.
way.
Yeah, and this sense of beauty and good and purity, it's just amazing, that he it's just great script, very heartfelt. He said that his inspiration for the story was, Dumbo.
I love that movie. Oh my god, that scene where Dumbo's being cradled by his mother while she's in elephant jail. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't cry.
You bullshit.
Okay, maybe a little. Uh, but yeah, you could definitely see the influence of Dumbo in this.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And a little side note also, Nick
mm.
Castle also directed The Last Starfighter.
Oh, yes, I do know this.
Yeah.
But did you know that in one of the scenes Fred Savage plays a video game and it is none other than The Last Starfighter?
Oh shit, I didn't catch that.
Yep.
Oh, that is freaking cool.
Yep.
Wow.
Which was
Yeah.
also directed by Nick Castle.
Nick Castle as well.
Yep.
So let's go into the box office and budget on this. The budget at the time was about 9 million, which is about $25 million today, and the box office was only 7.2 million, which is about 20 million in today's dollars. So
Wow.
it didn't do well at all. Uh,
Wow, that
and
is shocking.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of films like that that could have been big hits. Maybe it was the marketing; they didn't market it the right way. People may think, "Oh, this is another Peter Pan story or something," but yeah, it just didn't catch on, unfortunately.
Oh, that's such a shame because oh my god, very impactful movie.
Yeah, you know what? That kind of reminds me of another film that could have been big, which was Space Camp. Have you ever seen this?
Yes, is that the one where the kids they actually accidentally launched themselves into space?
Yeah, yeah, with Kate Capshaw from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yes.
Great freaking movie. John Williams scored the movie. This was an awesome flick, and basically the story behind that is, yeah, these kids go to space camp. It has Leia Thompson and
Mm.
Joaquin Phoenix is in it. It has a pretty nice little young cast in it, and so they go to space camp and they train how to be astronauts on the space shuttle.
Uh-huh.
And there's this one exercise that they're doing where they're going to go on an actual space shuttle that's at a launching bay and go through the motions. Well, it is accidentally launched. Well, not accidentally. It's a robot that's a friend to one of the kids that launches them because whatever, right? And they get launched into outer space. And Kate Capshaw, she's on there with them, and they have to find their way back to Earth and how to, land the thing and so forth. Great freaking movie. And it would have been a hit, a major hit. Unfortunately, something like 6 months before, we had the Challenger explosion.
Oh yeah, nobody was in the mood to watch that.
Yeah, yeah, and there was even there was a joke in the script where they take off, and one of the characters makes a comment like, "Oh my God, we're going to be toast."
Oh no, yeah, too soon.
Yeah, way too soon. So, it's one of those situations of for the studio, do we bite the bullet and release it, or do we cut a loss and collect on the insurance?
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Kate Capshaw was still very well known at the time off of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The space shuttle at the time, that was a big deal for kids.
Oh,
And
definitely, yeah. Every kid wanted to be an astronaut.
yeah, and so yeah, here's one of the things. Bad timing for that one, so it really didn't do well. So
That was such a fun movie too. I love that movie.
oh, it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Although the fucking robot was annoying.
Well, yeah, look at what it did. It launched them into space.
Yeah, so you have this little funny, cute little robot. It's designed for the kids who watch the movie. It's a cute, funny robot that has a robot voice, and yeah, that was my only thing that I didn't care much for the film. But other than that, it was a lot of fun, and one of those movies that just didn't kind of hit. They didn't hit.
That's yeah. That was such a fun movie. I got to see that movie again.
Alrighty, so let's reviews and scores. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, he gave the film 3 out of 4 stars.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, here is a sweet and innocent parable about a boy who could fly and about a girl who could fly too. So he was definitely enchanted by it. And it did get a lot of positive reviews. IMDb 6.5, Metacritic 67, Rotten Tomatoes critic score 64, audience score 69, and Letterboxd 3.1 stars out of 5. So it was no slouch. It was received pretty decently. And again, it's one of those things you go, wow, just like another film that another one of my favorites that never really hit big was a little film called The Monster Squad. Have you ever seen that one?
I've never seen the Monster Squad.
Oh, you have to watch it. Look it up. Fight. We're gonna have to cover it on the pod one of these days.
Okay.
It's Goonies meets Universal Monsters.
Oh yeah, you have mentioned this before. So yeah, okay. Yeah,
Wow.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think it was 86. And I'd heard about it growing up, but I was all hung up on Goonies and E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark and all that stuff that I really didn't pay attention to it. It came and went. And somebody recently, this was actually recently within, I think it was last year, they said, dude, you got to watch this. So I got it, I watched it. And it's one of those films you go, why the hell have I not seen this?
Because to be honest, I do remember seeing the previews to it, and I thought that shit looks dumb.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was directed by, I believe, Fred Decker, who did RoboCop 2. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
damn good movie. You'll watch it and it will become one of your favorites.
All right. I'll check it out. Monster Squad.
Monster Squad. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna call me. You're gonna go, fuck, you were right. This movie's awesome.
And it's funny because that's the problem that I've always had. My mom, she'd be like, oh, let's watch this movie. Oh, what was it Houseboat, for example? I don't want to
Oh.
see that movie. I watched the movie and I loved it, and I hate it when she would say, "I told you were gonna like it."
Yeah. In fact, she got me the same way with Houseboat. That's a classic 1950s romantic comedy with Cary Grant and
Uh-huh.
Sophia Loren. And
Yes,
great fucking movie.
Calamity Jane. That was
Oh,
another one. I was like, that's dumb. I don't want to see that shit. I freaking love that movie.
yeah. Well, the bulk of my classic films from the 40s and 50s, we owe to our mom.
Yep.
I mean, she had me watching Lana Turner films like Madam X.
Madam
or,
X. She made me watch that shit too, and
oh, that would.
I was reluctant. Oh my god.
How
Amazing.
about How about Imitation of Life?
I think she made me watch that one too. I just don't remember, to be honest, because it was such a long time ago. But
Oh,
I remember it was an amazing movie.
oh yeah. And I mean, because of mom, I think that's why I love classic films so much. I mean, one of my top 5 films of all time that I love is Casablanca,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which
I haven't seen that one.
it's easily one of the greatest films ever made. And that's not just hyperbole. It is easily one of the greatest films ever made.
What about the Ghost and Mrs. Muir?
Oh, The Ghost of Mrs. Mirror, that was another one.
Oh my
Beautiful,
god,
beautiful.
love that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. All right. Well, what do you say we go into our ratings on this?
Okay. Oh yeah, we ventured off of that.
Yeah. Well, what movie were we talking about? Oh yeah, The Boy Who Could Fly.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful movie, beautiful movie.
All right. So I'll give my review first. To me, it was a sweet, innocent film. The fucking movie makes you soar. It's inspirational, and to me, it was just a thing of pure beauty. Um, what else can you say? My score on the Filmjoe scale, 9.5 out of 10 paper airplanes.
Ooh, okay, all right. Well, I have to agree. It's an amazing movie. Heartbreakingly beautiful. Um, to me, it really reminds me of the beauty that was Starman, which is another very underrated and forgotten movie. Uh,
Yeah, directed by John Carpenter.
Oh my god, it's beautiful freaking movie. So yeah, so that this brought me back to that. It brought me back to the innocence of ET. The childlike innocence. Beautiful love story, so innocent, so pure. I'm in love with this movie, and I also have to give this movie 9.5 airplanes, paper airplanes.
All right. Wow. We same score on both movies for both of us.
Yeah, yeah. I have it written down, so you can't say that I copied.
All right. Now the question on the Mac and Me metric.
Oh, come on. You really got to go there? Way better than both movies. Way better than Mac and Me.
Hey, well, we talk about the Spielberg touch. That tried to do the Spielberg touch.
Yeah, no, they failed
Yeah. So
miserably.
all righty. So let's start winding this down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a blast. So pretty much that's about it. Please don't forget to check in next week when we put the spotlight on Jim Carrey. So don't forget.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yes. Alrighty, so we really hope you enjoyed the show. Please help to support the pod by giving us a nice 5-star rating, leave us a great review, or another way is simply just to subscribe and or follow us on Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Audible, Boomplay, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Also, don't forget to drop by our Facebook group, leave us a comment, check us out on Instagram. Swing on by. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. We're on TikTok, and we have a YouTube channel where we have all our current episodes on as well. All these links, they're in the show notes below. You can also contact us directly via email at thefilmjoepod@gmail.com. We love to hear your feedback. So any final words?
Never give up hope. That's what I took from The Boy That Could Fly. Never give up hope. You could do anything that you put your mind to.
I agree. Yeah, you made me tear up on that one. That was nice.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. I'm booger crying. All righty. All righty. So with that being said, thanks again for listening. I'm Joe.
I'm Daisy.
And this is the Filmjoe podcast,
where film talk happens.